Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the KA box from Gold Shell, and I want to give a shout out to Bubblegum Lightning, who hooked me up with getting me one of these because Gold Shell was giving these out for free, and he wanted to give them out to some Kaspa enthusiasts so that they can possibly make some content about this machine. So this miner is an ASIC, and it's producing about 1.18 terahash for the hash rate. And when you get this from Gold Shell or from any of the third parties, because Gold Shell currently is not even selling these because they have been going out of stock practically everywhere, you're gonna only get the KA box. You're not gonna get any of the other cords. So I do want to explain to you the other items that you're probably gonna have to purchase for this thing. And then I'm gonna also talk about some of my experiences with this because I have been running this for about a week now. So first off, you're gonna need to be able to purchase yourself a Ethernet cable, and also you need to also purchase these two cords here so that you can actually power the KA box. They're going to be connected to this breakout board here that you're going to need to purchase separately that connects to this power supply. And then this power supply is powered by this power cord, which all needed to be purchased. I am personally, with this setup, have two fans set up here, which I've purchased as well. The links to all of these items are going to be down in the description to exactly what I purchased. So if you do find a KA box that you want to get, you know exactly the items to get, because my KA box is running fine now. Well, the problem that I was experiencing with my KA box was the fact that this machine produces a ton of heat. And actually, if I go ahead and get the meter to test the heat on this thing, you're gonna see that it's gonna be pulling about 150 degrees or more sometimes. That's how much heat is coming off of this machine. It's crazy. The power supply puts off about 100 degrees of heat. And if you're checking the surface of the KA box, it's actually not that warm. It actually is only going to be putting out about 106 degrees here. It's way hotter than the surface of the KS0 Pro. But I decided to remove the fan that I had here because the KS0 Pro doesn't really need that fan, to add a second fan here so that I can get the heat exhaust to be pushed away from this miner, because I had this thing overheat on me about 3 times. So originally I had this miner placed over here where my Millennium Falcon is, and I literally had the KA box like this, and I should have known that it just would not be enough room from the exhaust to the wall. So this area was just getting extremely hot, and eventually my KA box kind of like overheated and started blinking red like crazy and just basically went into idle mode, and I had to completely just reset it. And so I decided to just move my miners from being here, since it's way too close to the wall, just producing too much heat, to putting them up here and facing it this way, so at least the exhaust can be pushed out away from the miner. And I put these fan here so that it can help continuously push this away. I have these miners set up in the loft of my apartment, which is actually a very, very hot place because this is the top floor of this building. And the Florida heat is ridiculous. I mean, we're getting upwards to like 95 degrees in a single day. So, you know, these machines cannot be getting too hot, but the internals of this thing runs very, very hot, and we're going to be seeing that when we head over to the computer. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to set this thing up when you do get yourself one and you hook up everything to it. I'm going to show you how you could set it up on the Gold Shell GUI. So let's go ahead and move over to the computer. All right, so once you get your KA box fully set up, you can head over to find.goldshell.com so that you could find the IP address to your KA box. And once you get that, you can just go ahead and copy it and open up a new tab and just put it in the address bar and click enter. When you do that, it's gonna pop up the GUI for your miner. Now, for my case, I already do have it connected to a pool, but when you log in for the first time, you probably are not going to see anything here. It's going to say that it's not connected to any kind of pool. And you're also going to have to unlock this website so that you can get into your miner. So when you click unlock, the password, it's always just going to be 1 through 9. As you can see here, it says the initial password is 1 through 9. So you're going to go ahead and just put that in there and then click unlock. And then once you do that, you're going to be able to change the settings of your KA box. But let's go ahead and take a look at what my KA box is doing. You can see that the average hash rate right now is about 1,146 gigahashes, which is actually a little bit under what is advertised, but this thing should be doing about 1.18, which would be 1,180 gigahashes. And this is normal to see the hardware error to be at like 3%. I've seen places that they say if this is under 5%, then everything is okay. The internal temperature is sitting at 81 degrees Celsius, which is actually very hot, but this is actually very normal for this machine. If you try to cool the KA box, I have seen people try to cool it, and when they do so, the hash rate actually decreases a lot. So personally, I'm using Hero Miners because recently I was using Kaspa Pool, but Kaspa Pool is experiencing a denial of service attack and it's not reliable as a pool right now. You can see I have a payout here that is basically stranded for the time being. So we're going to be using Hero Miners, which I use for my KA0 Pro, and I've never experienced any problems, and I'm probably just going to keep using Hero Miners instead. So to use Hero Miners, you're going to want to first add the pool. So to add a pool, you're just going to go to the miner settings right here and click add. And then what you're going to want to do is add the URL for Hero Miners. So you're going to head over to the Hero Miners website, and then you can go ahead and just click start once you're at the Kaspa section for Hero Miners. And then you're just going to want to look for the area that says the Gold Shell KA box. This is going to be that port that you're going to need once you grab the server address here. So for me personally, I am USA East, so I would be grabbing the us2.kaspaherominers.com, and then once you grab this address, you're going to just go ahead and paste that in the URL section, and then grab the port number, which is 1208. And then once you grab this and put a colon here and paste that in there, now you have the correct URL for Kaspa Hero Miners. And then for the miner name, you're going to be just putting your Kaspa address. Now, personally, I just use an address that I've generated from the OneKey wallet that I have, and this is the address right here. But you can go ahead and just copy and paste your Kaspa address, and then at the very end of your Kaspa address, if you want to just identify the worker name, you can go ahead and put a period at the very end of the address and just put whatever name you want. Now, personally, I just put KA box because now when I go to Hero Miners, you can see that the worker name is KA box. So whatever name you want to put it, you could do that. For the password, you don't have to put anything. You could just put like a 1 or something like that and click apply. Once you hit apply, it will look like this. You'll see the address, and then it will be at Stratum plus TCP, all that stuff, and it's going to put that all in there. So once you do have these pool settings set up, this should show up as green. And once it shows up as green, it's going to connect to your pool, and you should start to see it hashing. And then you can go ahead and head over to Hero Miners to actually see your statistics once you put the address in. And you can see that my current hash rate is at 1.15, and my average 24 hash rate is only at 1.16, which is a little bit under advertised for the last 24 hours. But I have only been using Hero Miners for about 24 hours, so it probably needs more days to fully see how much hash rate I'm going to be getting every single day. My pending balance is currently sitting at 45 Kaspa. This box, KA box, should be making me about 50 Kaspa per day, and I'm going to have it pay me out every single time it hits that 50 Kaspa, because I just don't want to experience another time where a pool shuts down and I don't get my Kaspa and it's stranded. So that's currently how my KA box is performing. All right, so for the remainder of the video, I want to get into some future projections and calculations of how well this miner will do, and also take a look and see if it's actually worth it to purchase right now, because in my opinion, I think you probably should not be purchasing this miner right now, but we're going to get into all those details right now. So for me personally, I got this miner for free, and shout out again to Bubblegum Lightning for hooking me up with it. So obviously, I really don't have to wait for a break-even price. This is all just totally profit for me. And so for the life cycle for this, I went ahead and put in that the hash rate of this should be 1.18 terahashes, and the wattage is 400 watts. And then the cost per kilowatt here in Florida is, I think it's about 16 cents. So I'm going to go ahead and just put 16 cents in there. And then I put a daily hash rate increase of 300 terahashes, because this should be close enough to where the hash rate might be in the future. So let me go ahead and just double check that to go to the future here. You can see that in the future, 2025, the hash rate will be at about 374 petahashes. And you could see here that at the end of this life cycle of this machine, I'm going to supposedly be hitting about 10,000 Kaspa. And I think this is pretty accurate that about a 1 year from now, the hash rate being at 374 petahashes, I think that is pretty accurate here. But you could see that from today, I'm going to be making about 10,000 Kaspa. And so now let's go ahead and look at how much this miner is actually going for, because if you see here for ASIC miner value, you could see that all of these websites are in pre-order. You can't even really get them right away. You have to pre-order them, and then you'll probably get them a little bit later, which will change your calculations even more. So if we're taking a look at Miner Bros here, I think this is like the cheapest place where I can find it, because a lot of these websites, they may have this price, but when you go to the website themselves, it actually has them higher. And Miner Bros, from what I can see, does give a pretty decent price, the cheapest that I can find, but I still don't even think it's worth it. And if you do use the coupon WELCOME50, this is a coupon that I found online, it gives you $50 off. So the total amount would be about $2,249. And I went ahead and put this price into the calculator, and you could see that currently you will never break even. It says that you'll start going negative in 2028, and at the end of the life cycle, you'll be hitting about 14,961 Kaspa. Now, I do want to check back over here for this, and I did put the cost per kilowatt to be 16 cents. I do want to change this back to 10 cents just to show you how much longer this thing will continue going for. And you could see that it goes till 2025 with the hash rate reaching 428 petahashes. This one over here reaching 703. Now, I'm not sure why the hash rate in here, and this is why the wattage isn't correct here. So let me put that to 400 and now change this. Okay, now that makes a little bit more sense. So yeah, 12,000 Kaspa here. So you're going to be looking about getting 10 to 12,000 Kaspa. And if you put this money into Kaspa itself right now, $2,400, we're going to estimate $2,400 instead. Right now, that would give you about 20,000 Kaspa. So you'll get more Kaspa if you were to purchase it right now with $2,400 instead of buying $2,400 worth of a gold shell box. Now, of course, this isn't calculating the fact that fees may actually compensate for the mining rewards going down, which will then make you even more Kaspa in the future. It's not compensating for a lot of those other things. But right now, looking at the price of Kaspa, the price of Kaspa is just simply too cheap. And if I was a rich person that was able to invest into miners, I wouldn't just buy this right now. I would be dollar cost averaging Kaspa until Kaspa's price gets to a certain point where it makes sense to go ahead and buy a miner instead, because Kaspa's price is just too high and it doesn't make any sense to be putting $2,400 into Kaspa when I could just do that and put it into a miner and make more Kaspa back. Nonetheless, you'll probably always ROI your money back, because if Kaspa's price does increase, which this calculator is not calculating a price increase, this is calculating if Kaspa remains at this price, which I truly don't believe will be the case, you will ROI in the dollar amount regardless, I think, in the long run. It's just the Kaspa amount you may not ROI in if you were to purchase this right now instead of purchasing Kaspa itself. So those are some things to consider. Calculating mining rewards and all that is a very difficult thing to calculate. Not all calculators are the best. This is probably one of the best ones that we do have, made by Coder of Stuff, that calculates the mining reward decreasing, and you could put in a lot of other different metrics like daily price increasing and the daily hash rate increasing, so you can try to get a good idea of what's going to happen in the future. But currently right now, I don't personally believe it's best to be buying a miner right now, but instead just dollar cost averaging into Kaspa. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And before we go, please, if you have not gotten it yet, consider getting yourself a Tantrum Kaspa exclusive card. And this is a really great way to hold your Kaspa completely offline and off exchanges in a cold storage solution, so that you can protect your funds. If you use the code Kaspa Silver at the checkout, you can get 10% off, and I'll greatly appreciate this because I do get a commission from this, and it greatly supports the channel. So thank you guys again for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and as always, don't be average, be different.